Ebi for your kwakopemu ewo Accra High Court. Lawyer Law.Atta Kyea, lawyer for Chairman Wontumi. Ebi for sisi was succeeding in plea now the command judge ought now Wontumi case and say man time. Now on your cross examination over the trials no my in our so far because they say na Chairman Wontumi was lawyer. Na do Debbie say lawyer you were here, chairman si won hu ne lawyer ne dwane into sisi lawyer, and then Law.Atta Kyea came into the scene and sisi no say obey mu nche. So now instead of say judge the man the final judgment on the 3rd of July 2026 and I will plea say on man sometime now on go over everything trials normal shining in our person on go over now on share cases ahodo aye dia bo and I say in sema aye dia bo ne so bo Chairman Wontumi so bo no one hwe say bi obetimi echi charge na enti waka e na judge outsma asem ne so say oh waje pini ama no eye no kre ase we ube mu nche enti say even though me ma me final judgment on this dia which is 3rd of July 2026, right. So, mama time. In this year, no, a judge say over the final judgment on the 20th of July 2026. In terms of forces here, Law.Atta Kyea, and in another same out to just a cross examination in the Augustua or year into and Dominic Ayine, any entity for the phone in an for overture was shaky. The train for more return, no, and I said they are coming back, a bear fire. Never say myself when coming home and could see some of that air castle away my gun and Marcia.
Possibly buy the properties, some properties. But here is a real question that the Dubois lawyers are asking. The Attorney General and the prosecution have failed to bring the said properties to the court to demonstrate that the properties that they heard of by gossip, that the properties are truly a Dubois properties. Because Advantage Solution, which is a Dubois wife, is into property business. What they do is that they secure land and then they auction the land for people to build on the land. Sometimes they can build for you. You know that arrangement is all over. Sometimes they can build for you. Sometimes you build and they supervise. Most of the estate-gated communities are like that. And this is the business that Advantage Solutions, which is led by Kwabena Dubois' wife as chief executive since 2008, have been doing. And so those houses that Advantage Solutions have claim over, 90% of it is not for them. It's for other people. They are a platform that is just putting people's homes there. So they have some homes, but they don't have the 35 that you go and see in the community. 90% of the 35 is not for them. It's for other people. So when they saw that and they saw Advantage Solutions, then they put it together that it must be Kwabena Dubois' property. It is this matter that Cromwell has come to the court and Atta was cross-examining him and he's saying that the salaries of Dubois doesn't match the acquisition of those properties. But those properties are not Dubois' acquisitions and there's no evidence to that. So, you see, viewers, that's the thing with court and criminal prosecution. This Metro TV building here, we are in North Region, Accra, very nice building. When we were constructing this building, I was coming here every day. So if somebody was sitting there and says that, this thing is for Paul Adumoche, every day he comes there. Can't you see that when he comes then, the people who are working, they call him boss, boss. When he's about to come, they say, boss, a bow. Then they are in a hurry, they are doing the mortar and they are putting the iron rods because boss is coming. If you look at that, then you go and say in court that the Metro TV building is for me, you will be laughed at and laughed upon. Because whether a building is for somebody or not, it's a legal question. And it's a question of documents and it's verifiable. The only basis on which, there's only one basis on which you can say a property belongs to an individual is that it's registered in his name. That is all. Nothing more, nothing less. The fact that I came here every day when they were building it, the fact that I was coming here, sleeping here, the fact that my brother is the engineer who did it, the fact that it was my sister who was the painter, all of those facts are inconsequential to the document that determines who is the owner of the property. So that's what has happened. Gossip has gone around that, hey, Kwabena Dubois' wife, they have money. Oh, hey, this property here, all the houses are for them. I'll show you something. Every Saturday morning, Kwabena comes here. I'll show you. Then Saturday, say, Charlie, have you seen him? Have you seen whereas that's Kwabena Dubois, the guy at the Signals Bureau. You see that he's inspecting the house. The house is for him. So, oral, which Dom Levo said is garbage, sits down and somebody goes to oral, raises his hand, his Kofi Mensah Edionum. Yes, what do you are? Kwabena Dubois is a thief. There are some houses, I can go and show you the houses. Then they follow him, chuku, chuku, chuku. They go to the place, they look at the thing, then they bring it in press conference. A whole lawyer, PhD, Dr. Dominic Ayine, a whole brutal lawyer, Stanford University. Oh, boy, yo, what is going on? Stanford University. This gossip, you come and stand and do press conference and say that is for Dominic Ayine. Now you are in court. And Cromwell has started by saying Dubois' salary doesn't match. We are waiting for them to bring the evidence that those properties belong to the said Kwabena Dubois. They should bring it. And then they don't even start with in building your case to the court. You start with the properties first before you come to his salary. They have begun with the salaries. What is going on? Stanford. Oh my goodness. You know, when we were young, we all wanted to go to Stanford because J.H. Mensah was trained at Stanford. Those of you who are much younger, you don't know J.H. Mensah. J.H. Mensah was trained at Stanford, and he talks about Stanford quite a bit. I used to live near him in Teshinungwa Estate. I'll go to his house every morning. And J.H. was always talking about Stanford. So Stanford went into our heads. So when I got to the Faculty of Law and Dominic Ayine was teaching, and I heard that he went to Stanford, I would go to his office and go and have a conversation with him about his green Volvo and all of that. He had a nice green Volvo that, you know, I like nice cars. I'll be talking to him about his car. In Stanford. When he became Attorney General, I sat on this program and said that I think this is the best decision John Mahama has made. I didn't know. Viewers, forgive me. I didn't know. Hey! So when the press conference started, I said, was there something going? So I called other people who know him that, Dominic, why? You know. But this is where we are. This is what is happening in the Dubois case. So at this stage, and that is why I started with the definition of the. This is the story. According to the Attorney General Dominic Ayine, Dubois and his co-accused orchestrated a scheme to misappropriate approximately 49.1 million of public funds through a criminal network of companies and bank accounts. The prosecution contends that money earmarked for the procurement of a cyber defense system was instead diverted for personal and private use. However, during cross-examination by defense counsel, a number of admissions emerged from the prosecution's own witnesses that challenge allegations made publicly by the Attorney General, as well as the prosecution's narrative in court. So what is being said is that what is the gravamen of the matter? The foundation of the case is that the Attorney General is alleging that Kwabena Dubois and his people had blown 49.1 million of state money. And the money was earmarked for the purchase of a cyber security equipment, cyber system equipment. And the equipment was never bought. And the money has been lost. And therefore, there's a loss that has been occasioned to the National Signals Bureau. And that is why he's being prosecuted. This is the matter. During his press conferences, which were completely unnecessary and which has not caught the court's attention in any way. Nowhere in the court documents has any press conference been referred to. The Attorney General has not referred to his own press conference. It all means that the press conference was neither here nor there. It lacked quality, it lacked interest, and it lacked relevance. But Attorney General did the press conference anyway. In his press conferences, he was talking about how Dubois had spent the money. In fact, he told the press how he believes Dubois spends that 49 million. He talked about him having cars, all of which brought Shatawale into the matter. You remember they had to go and arrest Shatawale, and Shatawale later told the public in his own videos that they told him that he should say that the car is for Dubois, and he couldn't say that because it's not true. So he, Chatta, SM, he's a truthful man. Truth stands. Truth is one. He told them that I can't say something that's not true. I am very basa-basa. I'm sure that's what Chatta said. That is bad man. Me, I be basa-basa, but I don't go feel lie, So he couldn't say that the car is for Dubois. This was part of the narrative of the Attorney General when he talked about they said Dubois has houses and he has cars and now they were fishing to find out the evidence so they can put it together. So they arrest a popular musician and tell him that your Lamborghini is for Kwabena Dubois, and the matter now spills over, it evaporates, and that side of the conversation is dead. But this is the story against Dubois. You have blown 49 million. Now let's get into the cross-examination. So how does the case start? The case starts with a jamboree arrest of Kwabena Dubois, as if after arresting Dubois, everything will change or something like that. Guy comes from a trip abroad, they arrest him, they keep him in for whatever time. The court is constituted at evening, 4 o'clock, so that he will be kept in. All of that happened. Forget about that. Now the trial has started. The trial starts with the Attorney General and his people presenting their prosecution witnesses to the court. And so far, they have presented about 4 or 5 prosecution witnesses. Viewers, keep in mind the gravamen of the case. Dubois, through a network, has stolen 49.1 million. On trial is also Dubois' wife, who is also on trial, that she's part of the syndicate of the stealing. Let's get to what has been happening in the court so far. Can I roll it over, please? Let's turn it out for me. All right. Now, this is a testimony by Ruth Edith Adumwa, who is the head of finance of NSB. Please, let's read. Ruth testified that there was no public institution known as the Bureau of National Communications, BNC, as alleged by the Attorney General. In the Attorney General's presentation, viewers, he said that there was something called Bureau of National Communication, BNC, and that there were 2 BNCs. There was a public BNC and a private BNC. That Dubois siphoned money from the public BNC into a private BNC, which was created by him and his wife and his cohorts. That's what the Attorney General told the media. In the courtroom, the prosecution witness, which is Edith Adumwa, who worked with Charles Kwabena Dubois as the head of finance, and who was also harassed, but eventually was converted into a prosecution witness so that perhaps she can tell on her boss or something like that. She's the first one they brought. So she knows a lot about the whole transaction. She's head of finance. She knows everything. And this is what she said. She testified that there was no public institution known as Bureau of National Communication as alleged by the Attorney General. Before then, let me say that if you do an algorithm of what has happened in the court so far with the testimony,